Sooner or later, some guy is gonna fuck you over. It's inevitable. He's not gonna beat you fair and square, okay? That's what I mean by fuck you over. If somebody beats you fair and square in whatever circumstance, whatever competition, you know, it's a street fight or it's a business deal or whatever, if the guy beats you fair and square, well, you know, he beat you fair and square, and that's life. And you just have to, you know, lick your wounds, learn from the experience, and move on. I'm not talking about that. There's always going to be somebody better than you or smarter than you or luckier than you. And if the other guy is playing by the rules and you're playing by the rules and he beats you, well, you know, what are you supposed to do about it? Other than learn from whatever mistakes you made along the way and just move on with your life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the guy who fucks you over, who, you know, breaks the rules or goes against the rules and fucks you over and quote unquote wins. And it's humiliating or it's just, you know, enraging. And you find yourself thinking of how you're going to get your revenge on this guy. I'm talking about that kind of situation. In that kind of situation, the best revenge is living well. It's a famous saying. The best revenge is living well, and it seems empty, especially when you're in the heat of the moment, especially right when the guy fucked you over, right after you realize how he fucked you over and how he just did not play by the rules, and by, you know, by trickery or by deceit or by lies or whatever, he fucked you over, and you're thinking to yourself, I want to get revenge on this son of a bitch, right? At that moment, you're going to hear words like, oh, you know, living well is the best revenge. You're going to say, fuck you, asshole. You know, the best revenge is revenge, right? That's what you're going to be thinking. Of course you're going to be thinking that because we all think of that, right? In that moment, you have to chill out and turn your mind away from thoughts of revenge and turn your mind towards living well. Now, let me explain why. See, when you get fucked over, right when it happens, you get fucked over by some guy, of course you're going to be enraged. Of course you're going to, you know, just yell and scream and just, you know, hit your pillow and just like be just like, oh my God, I got fucked over, right? You're going to be so enraged. It's happened to everybody. It's happened to me, certainly, more than once. And you're going to daydream for a while of getting your revenge, right? And you're going to, you know, daydream for, you know, maybe a day or a week or a month, maybe even, how you're going to get revenge on this asshole who fucked you over. It's going to bother you not because he beat you. It's going to bother you because he cheated in order to beat you. He broke the rules, whatever those rules might happen to be in the given circumstances, right? That's why you want revenge, because you're feeling to yourself, you know, this guy didn't win fair and square. Because when you lose fair and square, right? When you play a game or you're in a street fight or whatever, you know, there are certain rules. Sometimes they're very explicit and sometimes they're tacit, right? In like a game of chess, for instance, the rules are very codified and very rigid, and we all know what the rules are. Guy beats you following the rules, you know, that's life. In a street fight, you know, you get into a street fight with the guy and the rules are basically, you know, no eye gouging and no hitting in the balls, right? And he beats you up, well, you know, played by the rules, he fought by the rules, that's life, right? But when a guy beats you and he's breaking the rules in order to beat you, that's when you think of revenge, right? And you're going to think about it and daydream about it for a while. But here's the problem with revenge. As you think of revenge, your thoughts are turning on your enemy. You're not thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your enemy. And you're thinking, how could it be that I could hurt him? How could I hurt him in a way that would really, like he hurt me, I hurt him. How could I exact my revenge? And you're thinking about him. You're thinking about him, the guy who fucked you over, or that you believe fucked you over, right? And you're not thinking about yourself. See? You're putting all of your attention on the guy that fucked you over. But you're not thinking about your own situation. You're not thinking about your own happiness. You're not thinking about your own objectives. The more you think of revenge, the more the guy lives, as they say in that expression, he lives rent-free in your head, right? Because that's what's going on. See? You're thinking about the enemy who fucked you over. You're thinking and thinking and thinking about him. And what are you achieving? Nothing. You're not achieving anything insofar as your circumstances are concerned, right? Because you're thinking of revenge. You're thinking of how you're going to situate yourself or plot a strategy or whatever the fuck to hurt the guy. Okay? I mean, I don't have a problem with hurting somebody that hurt you. That's not the issue. It's not a moral issue. It's a practical issue. It's a pragmatic issue. The more time you spend thinking about your enemy, the less time you're thinking about your own circumstances, your own best interests. See, I've had people who have fucked me over the years. Lots of times. Lots of guys have fucked me over. Especially because, I have a habit of making enemies, right? Well, that's for another conversation. But the point is, lots of guys have fucked me over. And when I was very young, I'm talking teenager, right? I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna fuck them over. They'll remember my name, yeah, because when I get the chance, I'm gonna fuck them over. And I, created all kinds of stupid, idiotic plots and schemes to get my revenge. And of course, none of them came to fruition. Of course not. See, and that's how I started to learn that any kind of plot or scheme for revenge rarely comes to fruition. It rarely works, okay? Because life changes, circumstances change, okay? And so any plot of revenge that you might have, yeah, it might work, on day 1, but by day 100, things will have changed so much that it won't mean a damn thing. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, when I was young, I used to think about revenge, and then as I got older, I realized that, time moves on and forget about it. But if fate or destiny or karma or whatever put me in the position to trip up the guy who'd fucked me over, of course I would trip him up. Of course. Yeah, no question. See, again, I'm not arguing against the morality of revenge. See? I'm not. I understand that, or at least I believe morally, that if somebody fucks you over by breaking the rules or in a dishonest way, then you have the moral right, but not obligation, the moral right to fuck them over if circumstances allow it. But revenge, which is basically forcing circumstances to a point where you can fuck him over in return, revenge is just takes too much energy, too much time and effort and energy and brain power that you should apply to your own life, to bettering your own circumstances. And often as not, that is the best revenge. Now, there's a circumstance in my own personal, or not personal, in my YouTube career that I can go into some detail about. There's a guy, I'm not even going to bother to mention him. This guy, he was a YouTuber, pretty popular YouTuber in his day, about a year ago. And a little over a year ago, he was, king shit of Turd Mountain. Things were pretty good in his life, right? And he tried to fuck over this girl, okay? Another YouTuber. He tried to fuck her over. I think it's because he secretly desired her and she didn't give him the time of day. But that's idle speculation. The point is he tried to fuck her over and tried to get her doxxed and fired from her job, right? And I thought that was pretty low, and so I said so. And in the course of me saying that what he'd done was pretty low, I made fun of his accent. I said that he was faking a more educated accent than he actually had. And because of this guy just went insane, right? And he went on this weird jihad against me. Revenge, right? He was seeking revenge against me, and the thing blew up in his face. I didn't do anything, see? But his schemes and machinations to get back at me destroyed his YouTube career. It really did. He went away for 8-9 months or something like that. And then he came back. And again, he tried to attack me, okay? Because now the ruin of his career, he blamed it on me. And because he blamed it on me, he wanted to extract his revenge on me. Again, I didn't do anything, and he kept on trying to get revenge on me, and it just kept on blowing up in his face, time after time after time. I mean, it was like fucking Wile E. Coyote. It was fucking funny, actually. I mean, to tell you the truth, it got to a point where this guy's schemes and machinations were just so goddamn funny. It was like every day, right? It's not that I was living rent-free in his head. I owned outright a duplex penthouse overlooking his subconscious. I bet the motherfucker dreamed about me. And he kept on with his schemes of revenge, of trying to get revenge against me, trying to like get back at me for what? For the ruin of his career? He did it to himself. I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was make fun of his accent. The only thing I did was, allude to the fact that he's just not very clever, not very bright. And because of this, he tried to dox me and smear me, and that blew up in his face. And then he tried to do these videos against me, and that blew up in his face. He's a laughingstock. And he keeps on doing these like gay ops to get revenge on me. And me, I've just been sailing on. Doing my videos, having a good time, just sailing on and just loving every day of it, right? That's an example of a man hell-bent on revenge. And that revenge has brought him nothing but tears. It really has destroyed his life. I mean, it would be very, very funny if it weren't so sad. Because this young man, well, not so young anymore, I think he's 29, 30 or something like that. He's living in a shitty little house or apartment or something. And, he spends his days making these little plastic models and probably sniffing glue to ease the pain of his existence, right? He lives on his mother's allowance, he's just basically broke and plays video games all day and LARPs on Twitter and Discord and God knows where else with these like weird gay ops. And for what? He's trying to get revenge on his enemies. And every time he tries to get his revenge on his enemies, because I'm not the only enemy he's got, right? Every single time he tries to do this, he just looks more and more foolish, and he's destroyed his life. This is an object lesson of what happens when you allow revenge and thoughts of revenge to dominate your life. This guy, his life is a misery because he's trying to get revenge. Revenge on me, revenge on some other enemies, revenge, revenge, revenge. All of his thoughts are hell-bent on this notion of revenge. And what will he achieve? Nothing. There is nothing to be achieved. And me, I'm just living my life, having a wonderful time. His other enemies, same thing. They're just living their lives, just enjoying the wonders of life. And this guy's entire consciousness, his whole attention, his limited intellect, and all of his energy is dedicated to revenge, and he's getting nothing, absolutely nothing out of it, except misery. Don't be like that. Don't allow yourself to fall into thoughts of revenge. Don't allow yourself to fall into the trap that is revenge, because it's a trap. It is a trap. It is a trap that, in a weird way, your enemies, the people who fucked you over, they're sort of like, waiting for you to do it. Because they will own you, okay? They will own you. And the people who fucked you over, that if they truly did fuck you over, well, in short order, you'll probably have an opportunity to fuck them over. And, without even having to try. Because weirdly, it sounds a little passive, but I do tend to believe that there is such a thing as karma. And karma rolls around. When somebody fucks you over, it usually rolls around and you get the chance to fuck them over back in return. And you don't even have to move from your chair to do it. You can just sit pat and it just comes to you. I don't quite understand how it happens, but it happens, okay? Don't worry about revenge. Don't worry about trying to fuck over a guy who fucked you over, okay? Karma will take care of him. And even if karma doesn't, even if the guy sails on into the horizon and has a very happy existence, what will it serve you? Think pragmatically. Life is way too short to be wasting it on revenge.